Google reported earnings after the close on Tuesday, and it was important for them to come out with some good news after the Google Bard debacle a couple of months ago. So let's listen in to a video at Yahoo Finance regarding Google or Alphabet's earnings.
Focus today higher after reporting their Q1 results. Here with the numbers is Yahoo Finance's Brad Smith.
Yeah, thanks so much. We're taking a look at shares higher by about 3.4% right now, and this was a beat on top and bottom lines against the consensus estimates from Bloomberg. And EPS adjusted, they came in at $1.17 versus the expectation, but $1.08 there. That's a beat. Also, check mark, yes, you got a beat on revenue. That came in at $69.7 billion. That's the overall revenue number. But here's what a lot of analysts focus in on is that revenue number less TAC, traffic acquisition costs. And that came in by my back of the envelope calculations at $58 billion here. And so continuing to look through some of the numbers, important to note for some of the different lines of business within Alphabet. Of course, this the parent company of YouTube as well. YouTube ads in the quarter, that came in at about $6.69 billion. That was actually a decrease year over year compared to the first quarter of 2022. So keep that in focus. We'll see what more type of color we get on the earnings call about that. And of course, we'll be breaking that down after the call. But you were wondering what the company would say about artificial intelligence. It really only took them the second line in the first quote from Sundar Pichai, who is the CEO of Alphabet and Google, saying, "We're pleased with our business performance in the first quarter. Search performing well, momentum in cloud, introduced important product updates anchored in deep computer science and AI." Yes, artificial intelligence, not the great 76er Allen Iverson there. So ultimately, at the end of the day, we're going to hear more about that on the call. The CFO, Ruth Porat, also adding that resilience in search and momentum in cloud resulted in Q1 consolidated revenues of $69.8 billion. That was actually up 3% year over year. So those some of the high-level takeaways here.
Right.
It's going to be important to see what they say on the call with regard to artificial
AI
intelligence,
in particular.
as we mentioned, cloud and that business, especially as there's more deal scrutiny in this
Right.
environment among some of their portfolio clients.
Yeah, and you're right. And Pichai said in a recent interview, in a 60 Minutes interview, he said, quote, "Every product of our company will be impacted by AI, by the quick development of AI." And he said society needs to prepare for the advancement. So they've got to both catch up and stay ahead.
Okay, so just to kind of recap some of the highlights from Google's earnings announcement. Again, EPS was $1.17 versus 107 as expected by Wall Street. Sales came in at 69.79 billion versus 68.9 as expected. So that was a beat on sales, also was a beat on earnings per share. This also marked the company's snapping a 4-quarter streak of missed estimates, so that was good news. Cloud finally broke a profit. We had ad revenues beating expectations, but it was a little lower than a year ago. What was also key was the board authorized a $70 billion share buyback. All right, so let's go to the charts. And if we go to the charts, we can see that price was fairly muted. However, you can see on the daily candle, price did sell off initially and now is moving higher. Price has been range bound since beginning of the month in April. However, you do now have price above the 200-day moving average, which is serving as support based on the price action in March. Right, you had a rally in price, basing as buyers and sellers were doing it out for position, and then you had the buyers take control as price pulled back. Again, you had the 200-day moving average serving as support. And if you look a bit closer, you can anticipate golden crossover. That's where the 50-day moving average crosses over the 200-day moving average. Maybe occurring in mid-May, which would be also bullish. You have the 13, the 26, the 100 simple moving average now starting to point up or turn. So all of that is bullish for Google stock. What's also important to note is that Wall Street now is raising their estimates on Google. For example, you got Raymond James with a $120 target, Piper Sandler with a $127 target, Morgan Stanley with a $140 target, KeyBank with a $122 target, Evercore $130, Bank of America $128. Again, price is right now at $126. So, with that said, the chart suggests price can move higher. Look for a first target at the daily sellers level at 115. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. Please like the video.